Okay, so let's continue our charity talk. Last time we talked about three stories and we talked about charity. And so charity is more than giving the money to the poor. It's the giving of our heart, our time, our talent, and energy to lighten the life of others, rich or poor. So there's so-called the 3T ministry for the people who retire. And what are the 3T? The first thing is talent, because everybody has the talent from God. And second thing is time. Everybody has the time from God. Then so third thing is treasure. Treasure, most time we're talking about the money, but actually we're also talking about your heart, your energy, whatever you have, okay, to help the people. So that is charity. And of course, charity is unconditional. So whenever you have a charity organization, they didn't say, oh, you have to belong to this ethnic, you have to belong to this group, you have to have this condition, so we're going to help you. No. Charity basically is always, hey, we help whoever needs help. And charity, the second thing, charity requires a level of sacrifice, foregoing, self-interest in order that others may benefit. So this charity always means you give up something, you treasure something you like, something you have, and help the other people. So always have like a sacrifice, foregoing self-interest involved. If you don't need this stuff, if you don't care about all this garbage, you just give to other people, that's not charity there. Charity more, I give what I think is treasure, what I think is precious, but I'm willing to give to you. And so there's some kind of sacrifice, passion in there, okay, and that is charity. And charity does not require large deed. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm going to build a few $1 million building to do this. I'm going to give $100 million to this school, university. No, it doesn't have to be like that. It often takes a little act of kindness in the form of a warm smile or kind word. So every day you can do a lot of kindness gesture. Remember in the Bible say, anytime, always say something to build up people. So you say some kind thing to build up people. Like when I walk in the park, when I see a little kid, I say hi and I talk to them. I will say, wow, you're so smart. You're gonna have a lot of future from you. Okay, and then I always say somebody say, oh, like some people service in the marketing or in the phone call, like AT&T or in the Social Security office. I always, oh, you're so kind, you're so helpful. Thank you so much. You're such a nice lady, and you're such a nice gentleman, and they will feel very good. Because everybody like to be encouraged. And does it take a lot of effort from us? No. Take a little act of kindness in the form of a warm smile or kind word, and that is charity. So like people in New York, you walk on the street, they don't look at each other. Sounds like they're trying to send a message, say, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, leave me alone. But like in our neighborhood, people walk around and they look at each other, they smile, say, hey, how are you doing? Have a good time? Something like that already, make the people feel happier every day because they care each other. So you want to be a proactive person, you want a person of charity with a little act of kindness in the form of warm smile or kind word. And there's so much good word you can say to each other. Like you can say to your parents, say, Mom, thank you for the good food. I love it. And your mom will say, oh, you're so nice. You can say, Dad, say, hey, Dad, thank you for working so hard. And bring the money back and take care of the whole family. You can say it once in a while. And your dad will feel so appreciated. You say, oh, my kid's grown up. And this, does it take any effort? No. But we don't say that, Lara. I remember once my daughter sent me a card. It's in the Father's Day, just write down, say, hey, you done so much for us. I just want to let you know we always appreciate it. And I feel so good. So this is important. Charity is a good gesture, a good warm heart. I always like to make other people feel better or help the people to build up. I think that's very important. Next time, on the next one, I'll try to tell you a story of a person. It's my role model. I love it. And I'm trying to practice the same thing he has practiced. I'm not going to tell his name yet. So he's known for his frugality. According to the New York Times article in 2017, until he was 75 years old, he traveled only in coach and carry reading material in a plastic bag, like a plastic bag you get from the supermarket. He does not own a car or a house. That means he take a walk, he take taxi, and doesn't own a house, so he rent an apartment. Okay. And he wear the $10 Casio watch. As of 2016, he lived in a rented apartment in San Francisco with a remaining nest egg, he said, of $2 million. He said, whoa, $2 million, a lot of money. But you know who this person? This person, Chuck Finney. He lived that dream, but he wasn't content simply with becoming a billionaire. He's a billionaire, multi-billionaire. No, he set himself a future a goal. He set himself a further goal. So this billionaire, he actually has a $9 billion asset to give away. So he wanted to give away his entire multi-billion dollar fortune while he was still living. He's now like probably 90 years old. So the 89 years old American businessman has now achieved that, donating almost $9 billion worldwide, September 27, 2020. So last year, he finished giving away everything he had, except he kept $2 million for himself, take care of the rest of his old age. And then think about, he doesn't own like a mansion like all other people, 100 million, $200 million mansion, or many mansions. He just rent an apartment like everybody else in San Francisco. He doesn't even own a car. He fly coach, but he's a multi-billionaire. He's the first one basically start out the duty-free shop in the airport. So make a lot of money out of this duty-free shop chains. So he gave away $9 billion. As the only billionaire in New York we heard about it. In America or worldwide, we heard about it. He wanted to give away all the money he has. So this is last year what happened. He and his wife, with a lawyer, signed the document to close his charity foundation. And all the money is given away. Isn't that amazing? It's Chuck Finney. And this is like Warren Buffett say about it. Chuck been the model for us all. If you have the right hero in life, you're 90% of the way home. Chuck Finney is a good hero to have. So if you have a hero in your mind, and then you can just model your hero, live your life. And Chuck Finney is a good hero to have. It's amazing. How can somebody have so much money and doesn't even want to keep any of them? Just give it away to help other people. But guess what? I believe it's the most joyful, the happiest person, one of the most joyful and happiest person in this world. Because he keep doing the good things. And this Warren Buffett say about him. Then Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, remember, they start this pledging move. Have all the billionaire pledge. They'll give away at least 50% of their asset before they die. And I think hundreds of billionaires around the world did that pledge. Okay. And this is what Bill Gates said about him. Chuck created a path for other philanthropists to follow. I remember meeting him before starting the Giving Pledge. That's called the Giving Pledge. He told me we should encourage people not to give just 50%, but as much as possible during their lifetime. No one is a better example of that than Chuck. Many people talk to me about how he inspired them. It is truly amazing. And imagine such a successful person, because what he did is really the ultimate charity, give away everything. Of course, when you give away the money, it's not just give away the money. You have to spend a lot of effort. How are you going to spend all this money? You got to set up strategy. And how are you going to help the people? It's not an easy job, okay, to give away so much money. You have to think a lot. You have to work hard. But I'm pretty sure one of things, he definitely enjoys a lot of peace, a lot of joy in his heart, because all he's thinking about is helping the other people. And he never worried about himself. And this is Stephen Jobs' wife said, Chuck Finney is a true pioneer. Spending down his resources during his lifetime has inspired a generation of philanthropists. So this generation get inspired by him, including me. And his dedication to anonymous giving, he gave a lot of money anonymously and focus on addressing the problem of the day, reflect the strengths of his character and social conscience. We all follow in his footsteps. So I'm so happy that so many billionaires are willing to follow his steps. Like, Jeff Bezos' wife. Jeff Bezos divorced, and Jeff Bezos' wife got I don't remember, $10, $20 billion. But she just keep it giving away. She give away. And last year, she was one of the best to give away a lot of money to help the others. So this is a few extracts from the Everyday Greatness. People are born naked and then finally die alone. No one can carry the wealth and the reputation he himself has been striving for a lifetime. So, like the Bible says, you come with nothing in your hand and you live with nothing in your hands. So why keep them? Why try to keep hold of them and don't let it go? And a lot of people trying to keep getting hold of all this money and the reputation, don't let it go, and die miserably. But the people who are willing to let it go, help others, very happy life. I also think about the money we spend on helping this generation. Remember the last charity story? It's going to ripple through, help a lot more people in the future generation. So this is what happened last year for Chuck on his foundation. I think last couple of years, he gave $588 million to Cornell University and converted one of the New York Island, become industrial park. Then he gave $125 million donate to University of California system, scholarship, help out the research, build the building. So this one thing very good, very impressive about America is a lot of billionaires give a lot of money to the university so they can have a good education. Guess what? Good education system, raise more good people for the future, and more good people for the future, and build the country even better. And that's what's amazing about this American system. Like Harvard University, they probably have $25, $30 billion endowment. And average, all those top ranked university, they have like a $10, $20 billion endowment. I mean, in the bank, so they can draw like say 5% interest every year. and to do all the research work, scholarship for the student. So a lot of students don't have money, but can get to the good university, like Harvard University. If your parents' income is less than, if I remember, annual income is less than $100,000 or $120,000, you can get full scholarship as long as you're good enough. And that's very encouraging for a lot of people, maybe for you too. If your parents don't have money, it's okay. You can go to top ranked school and get top ranking education system. No problem, because all those charity, we say all the people, do all the charity work. And look at that. He gave $60 million donation to Stanford University. Stanford University probably have like $20 billion endowment already. Okay. So if you take 5%, that's $1 billion. $1 billion every year, you can do a lot of things. And then he donated $1 billion donation to Ireland for education system. So Ireland have a lot of problems before. So he went in and said, okay, I'll work with you. I give $1 billion, you put in $1 billion. Let's renovate the whole education system. So Ireland today is one of the best countries economically in the Europe. And then the Czech Finnish had a lot to do with it. And there's also some extract from the Everyday Greatness. In your service to the poor, this is as Mother Teresa said, do not give only your hand, but also your heart. To love, it is necessary to give. To give is necessary to be free from selfishness. So love and heart and help others poor. The Mother Teresa was called by God, go to the Calcutta. Calcutta is one of the poorest city in India. India was one of the poorest country in the whole world. So Mother Teresa was called by God to help the poorest of the poorest. So she just went to Calcutta and recruit a lot of nuns and serving the poor people there. And then she got all the donation from everywhere. So this organization, I forgot the name. It's already global. Have like a few hundred stations in different cities to help other poor people. Another extraction here is the ultimate test of man's conscience may be his willingness to sacrifice something today for future generation, whose words of thanks will not be heard. A lot of times, we help the people. We like to hear the people say, thank you, I appreciate you. Okay, but however, the ultimate test of man's conscience may be his willingness to sacrifice something today for future generation. But future generation not going to say thank you, right? But however, what they did is for the future, to improve the future. And this is what's amazing thing, Sarah. So this is why it's amazing Chuck Finnick gave away like $1 billion. A lot of people didn't even know it's from him. It's always anonymously. And then when you walk on the street, doesn't like a Bill Gates, Warren Buffett walk on the street. And everybody knows that. And not many people even know him. And that's so amazing. What a noble person. Apparently, they think God knows everything. That's good enough. A lot of time, whatever we do, God knows that, right? No matter you do the good thing, you do the bad thing. God knows it. And do you need anybody else to appreciate you, to thank you? I don't think so. Because every time we do something, the Bible says, we don't do it for our own glory. I always do it for God's glory. So charity is one of the best behavior. We do it in God's glory because charity manifests God's glory. Charity manifests God's love. So kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can read. Okay, it's a It's a global language. The deaf can hear and the blind can read. The ideal which have lighted my way and time after time have given me new courage to face life cheerfully have been kindness, beauty, and truth. I don't remember who said this. Okay, but the truth is always light my way. Time after time, we have given the new courage to face life cheerfully, having kindness, beauty, and the truth. So once in the hospital during the World War II, this lady was had a depression, lived in the hospital. Then the doctor encouraged her, say, hey, because of World War II, we have a lot of veterans get hurt and the hospital, I need somebody to take care of them and help them out. Why didn't you do that? She said, okay, I'm sleeping, I'm not doing anything anyway. So she helped them every day, wake up in the morning until she's tired and go back to her bed sleep. Not long after that, she's completely healed on the depression. So the depression is all the worry about yourself. When you move your attention to help the other people, you don't have worry. All you have is happiness, joy. And that's why helping the others is so important. Why helping the others make us feel good? You probably have this question. Why helping the other make us feel good? Who has the answer? Maybe you can go to the chat room. It's a challenge for everybody. Helping the other, why give you the good feeling, give you joy and the peace and happiness? Why is that? Can anybody answer? Try to go to the chat room. I'll see who had the answer. Why? Why do you think so? Matthew, why do you think so?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't quite get it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't quite get it.
The question is why, when we do the charity work, we help the others with what we have. Make yourself feel good. Everybody around the world have the same kind of feeling. Why is that? You never sing any word, any part of the word, give the reward or award to somebody do all the bad things. Oh, this is the award for being the most selfish person in the whole city. No, I always say this award for the person more generous in this city. Why is that? Anybody answer? Pretty tricky question, Nara. Well, the reason is very simple. The reason is God designed us that way. God put his love inside our spirit. And God is love. So inside our spirit, we have God's glory in there.
Thank you for sharing. I didn't even know about Chuck Feeney. I knew that he was, I read it before, but I didn't know that he gave so much away. There's, we can always say that, yes, I know that I'm not going to be able to take my money and with me into next life. That's how people usually say it. So I'm going to give later on. But I always find that to do it now and to practice kindness, it, and also it does not require money. It is very thought-provoking, and also it's a great reminder. We always say that, oh, when I become rich, I would do that. I'll try to be like Warren Buffett, or I'll be, and but yeah, I would like to add on. I spent maybe a total couple months in Africa several times, and Bill Gates and his ex-wife have done in the past is that they are very focused, and if you see that some of the great philanthropists, they give to educations, and it's like Uncle Min has said, you're really trying to educate and raise up a new generations of people. When 20 years ago that I was in Rwanda. Rwanda, it was used to be the worst country in Africa. It was small, landlocked. But what made it famous was, well, notoriously famous was within 3 months, 800,000 people were killed, and they were not shot to death, they were hacked to death. People that had used the most Stone Age tools like knives, the big long knife that they used to harvest, and they hack each other's. One tribe killed the other tribes, and it's such it's called a genocide. But yet, because of that, there's a lot of foreign aid and also the philanthropists, and including churches, and came in. And at that time, I did not understand why all the Korean churches and all this big foundation, Red Cross, and all, they came in to build school. And for me, I did not realize why. Why don't you do other things? And yes, some people that they were doing things. Bill Gates in particular, they spent a lot of money and invested a lot of money to trying to decrease the rate of malaria, the mosquitoes. And but then after 15 years, now Rwanda has Rwanda now is the Silicon Valley of the whole Africa, because every school, and they used to have computers, and then it's one of the only country in Africa that it was digitally connected. And so in 15 years, the young people that even little kids know, they have tablets, and they can, they're not only they're literate, they can read and write and do math, and then they know computers and the internet. And so the whole, now it's considered the cleanest country in the world. A new generations of young people came up, and who have less malaria, and they're healthier, and so it can be done. And people said, "Oh, Rwanda, can achieve that because they're a small country with a couple of million people, and then and you can do that." And there are not only Bill Gates and countries who had gave them money, but churches did. And our church here in Phoenix, they built 5 classrooms, and they send them, and they participated. So what I'm trying to say is that as you grow older, and as hopefully as the pandemic ease, give yourself the opportunity to be part of the what do you call short-term missions, and you'll be able to see where are the needy people are, because it's much easier. And you live in your parents, yes, they work hard, and then they put you, and then you're always in a nicer community, and maybe you see a few homeless people, and that's about it. But there's a whole world out there that the people that they're so in desperate poverty. But kindness is not just that. We also mentioned Mother Teresa. I even went and visited her office over there, and yes, she inspired a lot of people. And but it's just like her, what she has said. It's more than just hands, but if your heart is in it. So, you watch documentaries, a lot of things about, you find out what happened to the waste, what happened to the people who are poor, what happened in the third world countries, what happened to in our community, even in our cities. So it's easy to overlook, and or if just focus on your own computers and you don't think about it. So, all right.
Yeah, I think the Pastor Lee say something very important there. Right? Our time, our life is so precious that always look around, find something you can help. Give you an example. I was talking to a high school student, and he's in the senior now. You know what he has done? He has started a nonprofit organization and get a lot of the, like Asian American, same thing like high school student, because most of Asian American like to get the music, play piano. But then there's a lot of other ethnic people, okay, doesn't have that money to learn all different kind of music instruments. So he got this organization. He organized 50 teachers who who's good at violin, piano, everything. They have 100 students from a poor area, and he teach them all the musics. And he helped save about more than $30,000 for all this, class fee. And this is actually a high school student can do that. I never thought I can do that. Now I learned from him, so I said, okay, I'm going to start start a community service for youth, okay, in our church, do the similar things. So the young generation like you all can do a lot more. I remember, I think one of this lady, same thing. She started a computer class on the web, and they train a lot of people. And that's another very good thing. So and that's actually also important is the community service credit. So actually, if you do something like that, you get a lot of credit, and you can get to the good school easily. Okay, because they know, so wow, this guy have a good heart, big heart, and he take action to help the other people. Then he can make things happen. He or she can make things happen. This is great. We like this kind of student. Come to our university. And this is what I talk about community work. So if you have any good idea about this kind of community project, we'll be glad to work with you, and it may even financially support you to get it started, and you can help a lot of other people. Okay, this is what we've been talking about, community project. So think about it, be creative. The next things I'd like to mention to you is this is a letter from Abraham Lincoln to General Rosecrans. And Rosecrans is one of the generals. He's also very successful businessman. And during the Civil War, he led in the army, okay, the commander of the Army of the Southwest, concerned the proposed execution of a Confederate officer. So there's a Confederate officer get caught, and General Rosecrans thinking about execute him. So in that case, they had to send a letter to Abraham Lincoln to get his agreement, or he wanted to just let them stop doing that. Okay. But guess what Abraham Lincoln said? I have examined personally all the paper in the Leon case, and I cannot see that it is a matter for executive interference. He thinks as a president, but I don't think this has anything to do with the president had to get involved. So he said, no, it has nothing to do with executive interference. So I turn it over to you with full confidence. You will do what is just and right. Only begging you. Can you imagine? The president say something to the general, say, I'm begging you, my dear general, to do something reprisal for the past. Not to do, I'm saying, not to do something, to do nothing. I'm sorry, to do nothing in reprisal for the past. So don't revenge, okay? Don't get angry. Only what is necessary to ensure security for the future. Think about how much wisdom in this word. No wonder he's one of the best presidents. Do nothing in the reprisal for the past. Only what is necessary to ensure security for the future. Can you imagine what the words of wisdom? Isn't that what the right thing for everybody should do? We do nothing in reprisal for the past. Only what is necessary to ensure security for the future. And remind you that we are not fighting against a foreign foe. It's a civil war. But our brother, we're actually fighting against our brother. It's very unfortunate, but that's what happened during the Civil War. A lot of graduates from the same class from West Point actually is fighting against each other on separate sides. I said, that's why the saddest moment in America. And that our aim is not to break their spirits, but only to bring back their old allegiance. Conquer by kindness. Let that be our policy. Isn't that amazing? We don't want to break their spirit. We just want to bring back their old allegiance. Conquer by kindness. So we want to win. We want to conquer, not by force, not by brutality, but by kindness. Let that be our policy. No wonder Abraham Lincoln is one of the greatest in American history. He didn't like start the Civil War, but he know for the future, if you want American big and great, and you had to fight this Civil War, because not any race can be discriminated like that if you want America to be a great country. And in God's principle, in what the Bible says, nobody should be treated like that. And that's the principle for the Civil War. Even so sad, so violent during the war, even the brothers fight against brothers. But however, eventually, the Civil War built a foundation for America, a big, great America. Everybody treated equally. And that's why I think it's beauty about this country. Everybody treated equally. It doesn't matter your ethnics, your religions, you're rich, you're poor, everybody treated equally. And everybody trying to help each other. That's why I think it's very encouraging to see these letters. Okay, so I think this is my talk for today. And then the homework is write down your experience in helping the others. You feel you're a much fulfilled person after the experience. How does that feeling match God's creation and teaching from Jesus? So this is homework. Write down your experience in helping the others. You feel you're a much fulfilled person after the experience. And how does that feeling match God's creation and teaching from Jesus? Mm-hmm. So if we can help you, and some of you might be a billionaire in the future, and if you treat the Chuck Finney as your role model, then your $1 billion going to help millions of people. 1 million people are going to help billions of people. So this keep ripples through. And then the lesson we have here is we did a good job.
Mhm.
And then when we're in heaven, I think Jesus will smile at us. Hey, you got a good job. I'm proud of you.